must be some, there must be some furniture around you. Feel it, look at it, look all around you. Embrace the room that you're in. Just live in the presence for this one moment. If you like, you can put your videos off for this as well. Turn to your right and then turn to your left. Look up, look at the fan, the AC, look down, the flooring. Some of you may have wood, some of you may have carpet. The purpose of this is just to be in this moment. Be your candid self right now. Take a deep breath in. Inhale the air that is in your room right now. Hold that air in. Fill your lungs up. And now, as you're releasing it, feel every molecule in that air come out. It's going through your lungs as they push it out, through your windpipe, lastly through your nose. Be thankful for your surroundings, for everything that you have right now. You are presently only living in this moment. And now if you feel like it, you can close your eyes. Now you can think of a large green field. Remember that while you think of this green field, you're still in your room. But the mere thought of that green field puts you at ease. The peace that you look for is right within you. Think of birds chirping around you. And as you hear the sounds of those birds chirping, listen intently. You might hear a car honking, someone shouting on the road, because that's how traffic in Mumbai or India is. And just realize that if you can be so peaceful in one place, the peace is within you. And now gently open your eyes and embrace your surroundings. Realize that your happiness is right here, right now. All right. I hope that was a good breather for all of you. We now have with us someone really special who would like to share their experiences with us. So we first have Miss Chandni, who is a YouTuber. She's signed with One Digital Entertainment and has her own TV shows on Tata Sky Beauty. And she's currently a media student at MCIA, at MICA. Miss
Hi.
Chandni Dialani, all over to you, ma'am.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. Um, so I came really unprepared for this, but I know I'm talking about my journey about with mental health, like we all have one. My journey is a little bittersweet, but the main thing that I really want to put out to you guys is the whole concept of acceptance with your mental health. I'm 23 now, and around the time when I was 13 or 14, I knew something was not right, but I didn't know what. And I didn't know until I was 17, because I didn't know if it was okay for me to accept that I'm not okay. And that was the main thing that I felt like it was a big deal. Like for nearly 3 to 4 years, I didn't know if it was okay for me to accept it. And I feel like we all have our journey, and we all know it's going to be um, a lot of ups and downs, but I feel the most important thing is to accept that you're not okay and get help if you need that. And around the time when I was 17, I knew that although there is a taboo around this, I have to get it out there, because if I don't, it's gonna like affect me even worse. So then my mom and I sat down, and she's like, I know you're not okay. And then we set out like the word depression, and it was a big deal in my house because not a lot of people were used to that. And then it took me about four different doctors to find the right one. But just the fact that I could accept it finally after 4 years of internally struggling made the biggest difference. Since then, and 5 years later now, I can say that I know I'm happy where I am right now. But that was my journey. But I also want to know what you guys think of your journey, and was it similar? Because I want to know if you guys have had similar journeys as well.
Thank you so much for sharing with us, ma'am. I'm sure your bravery is going to inspire us to take the same step when and if we need to. Because the thing is that it's so stigmatized in this
Mm-hmm.
country. We don't know whether it's the right thing to say. How would someone put it forth
Yeah.
to their own loved ones without their loved ones feeling like it's somehow their fault?
Yeah, that
Anything.
was the biggest thing ever. So there was this one doctor that I saw, and he was not the right doctor for me, because when I spoke about bullying in school, he entirely blamed it on my mom, and I was really offended by that. So it takes a lot to find the right doctor. It took me like four different doctors to go like, okay, this is the right one, who allows me to accept my feelings, who validates that okay, it's okay to not feel okay. And it took a lot to get there, but it all started because after nearly 4 years of struggling, we all went and accepted that this is okay, like it's fine that you're not okay, but you're going to be okay. So that was a big deal for us.
Yes, ma'am. That is indeed a great thing to learn that it's all right to not be okay
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're willing to work on it. And I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
your recovery and success story is something that will inspire all of us. Now we have one
I
question from
hope.
the audience, if you would mind taking it. It's how do you convince yourself if you see any symptoms of a mental illness? Because most of very often we ourselves are in denial that no, this can't be happening to me, this might be happening
Mm-hmm.
to people, but how do I know that this is a symptom of mental illness and not just a phase that I'm going through?
A phase will only last you so long. There is a difference between being sad and being depressed. Being sad, it's okay, but you'll know in some time, because a phase will only last so long. When you feel really sad and when you know you're not okay entirely for a long period of time, you'll know it is time to get help. You'll know when it's really not okay, and it's important to identify that and get help when you need it, because it becomes sometimes it's too late to get help for a lot of people, which is sad. But very honestly, like from personal experience, I know it's never too late to get help. So it's important to identify that, and you don't have to convince yourself that okay, like you don't have to convince yourself. I feel like in some places you'll just know in your heart that something's not okay, and that's important to just like isolate and identify, and then you know that you have to come out and accept this. You don't have to say it to the entire world, you have to say it yourself. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. You've really shown us that there really is a bright light at the end of the dark tunnel, and that
it
it's
really is.
always the darkest before the dawn.
Oh my god, that is so true, that there's light at the end of the tunnel. I really believe in this thing. It's there's this quote that someone told me once. It says, this too shall pass. And I feel like over time I have loved it. Like I love that every time I have fallen, I know that this is gonna pass. Everything that is bad will pass. I know at that point it's easier said than done, to be honest. But at your darkest moment, you just have to know that इससे बुरा और नहीं हो सकता. So there's only a way up, you know.
Yes.
And after a lot of time in therapy, I love therapy. I feel like everyone who feels like they should get therapy should get therapy. They shouldn't think twice about it. A lot of time in therapy, I realized that any and every problem I have discussed has passed. over time, like it takes time, nothing happens easy, it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of time to be happy with yourself as well. But everything will pass, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel, that you rightly said. So yeah, that's one thing that everyone should keep in mind. No matter how difficult it is, it's always going to get better, it's always going to get better.
Indeed, ma'am. And what you said about looking for different doctors, looking for different therapists, I think
Hmm.
everyone needs to find that one person who's right for them, who's going to,
That's true.
who they find solace in, who's going to help them eventually sort their stuff
Mhm.
out.
That's true. So it took me like four doctors. The first time, my mom and I sat down and we were like, "Oh, I'm not okay." It was really a different time altogether. Like 5, 6 years ago was a different time when kids my age didn't really come out with that term so often. But I told my mom, and my mom and I both confessed that I'm depressed. And then the next thing to do was to find a doctor. So we found a doctor nearby who put me on really like strong medicines. And I don't remember life for like 2 months during that time, because I was just constantly sleeping, and I knew this was not the right doctor for me. I knew my problems were not going to go away by sleeping, they had to be faced. So then I went to another doctor who invalidated every single opinion I had, and then I went to another doctor who wasn't right, and then I found the right one. So it takes some time, and changing doctors is also a little bit excruciating. But the second I found the right doctor, within 3 sessions I saw a lot of hope that I didn't see for like 6, 7 months. I feel like it's the most important thing to find a doctor that really connects with you, who hears you out, who knows, who gives you a different worldview altogether, that maybe sometimes you're not able to find.
I
And I
to-
found that. I was lucky I found that. I'm grateful for that. Grateful to my parents also, because in a time when it was not easy to say that my daughter is depressed, they said it out loud for me to feel okay with it. And they accepted me with like open arms. So really grateful for that. It's important to have friends around you who accept that. And if they don't, then they're not worth having around. Yeah. But
Definitely.
I want to know, I do want to know from you and the audience out here, if you guys have had similar journeys where 5, 6 years ago, when it was a different time, you guys felt like, was it difficult to say it out loud then as it is now?
So, quite personally, I've dealt with a tough time about 5 years ago. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
as bad when I look back now, but at that time it seemed to be the end of the world. I just
Mm-hmm.
gotten out of a tough relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
thankfully for me, my friends and family were extremely supportive. They kept me busy, work kept me busy. So I
Mm-hmm.
really sunk into it very deeply myself.
Mm-hmm.
But
Do
I'm
you
sure,
feel, did
sorry.
you feel like do you feel like now is a better time and more open time now, like open, how to say this, environment now than it was before?
I think the environment, in my opinion, is improving. I wouldn't say it's more open as such because the improvement has been marginal. The awareness
Hmm.
of mental health, the destigmatization that we hope to achieve has not reached any major milestones yet. But
Yeah,
that's what we're trying to do with the seminar. We want it to be something like if you have a toothache, you're going to go to a dentist. So if your brain
exactly.
hurts, if your mind hurts, if your heart hurts, why can't you go to another doctor?
Exactly, it's like if you have a wound you would treat it. So if your mental health is not okay, why would you not treat it? That's true.
And why
Yeah.
should I be ashamed of it? Tomorrow
Yeah.
I get typhoid or even COVID.
Hmm.
It's not something embarrassing.
Yeah,
It's not
everyone's
something.
gonna find their treatment, that's true. Like a lot of people have different coping mechanisms. Personally, I, like you, also got yourself involved in so many things. I did the same thing. I started my YouTube channel solely because I didn't know what else to do with my life apart from just studies and this. And I didn't know how to deal with my feelings beyond like going and interacting with people in school and college. So then um I started my YouTube channel, and that was the best outlet for me because all my creative energy went there. But then there was only that point it could get me to. At some point I had to face the reality of the situation and get help, which I really needed for so many years, but I couldn't for such a long time. And I know that you guys are all like Rotractors. I was in RCHR as well.
Oh,
Best place for me because it took a lot of my time and energy, which kept me very happy for that time. Yeah, when I was really struggling, Rotract really helped me out.
that's what I like about Rotaract. While we try to
Mhm.
benefit the community as well, you also form a friend circle of people who are so close to you, who are so dear to your heart.
That is so true. You guys are very lucky that like y'all still have your road track club. It's been a long time since I got out of mine, but I miss
You're
it.
always welcome to join Rotaract Club of Mumbai and Nariman Point,
I'm there. I'm
or
honestly
any of the
there.
seven
You guys,
collaborating.
no, honestly, you guys are doing so good. It's crazy how this event that you guys are doing is amazing. You guys are really taking charge and raising awareness, which is the first step. Honestly, it's amazing. Like honestly, kudos to you guys for organizing this as well.
Thanks to you, ma'am, because you've been a part of this and helped make it what it is today. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad. Thanks for having me here. I hope that my story at least like helped identify or relate. If not anything, just relate because it's important to have someone to relate to. I hope my story did help someone relate. Yeah, because I feel like when times are tough, you want to feel like you relate to someone.
I'm definitely sure it did because when they see your story, how you yourself got out of something, you have
Mhm.
inspired all of us that tomorrow when we have an issue, there is a way out. I'd like to thank you so much for that on behalf of our club and the collaborating clubs with us and every single participant out here from Project Aina for taking your time out and bravely sharing your experience.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really nice of you guys. Thanks a lot. I wish you guys all the best. And everyone on your journeys as well, please always be brave and like open hearted, and honestly get help if you need that. Reach out to someone if you need that, because if you don't, who will? You're the only one who is going to help yourself out, so start by that. And I really wish you guys all the best. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks. Bye.